Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The AP preseason poll was released yesterday afternoon, but like always, guys, we have some major problems with it. The AP, once again, made tons of mistakes heading into the season, and we are here to break down every single one of them. But before we get started, again, guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Thank you for joining us today. As always, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in that description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. And also make sure to go sign up for our Gridiron Expert Discord server. It is free to sign up. It's just a great opportunity to talk with me directly and also talk with hundreds of college football fans around the world. So make sure to go sign up for both those. Again, guys, join our Gridiron Expert Nation. Join the team today. And again, the links for that all right there down in the description below, just a click away. So let's dive into this poll, guys. A few quick hitters for this top 25. I will say, looking at it right now, the top three I'm cool with, right? Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, there's no issue in the top three for me. Then things get dicey. They get confusing. I think a lot of people were shocked to see Clemson as high as number 4. I will say that we did have Clemson in our early top 25. We had Clemson in the top 10. So I do believe the Tigers are absolutely a top 10 team. But are they better than Notre Dame? Are they better than Utah? Are they better than Michigan? Those are some questions that we have to ask right now. One of the best defenses, maybe the best defense in the country, but can the Tigers figure out their offense? A 10-3 season last year now puts them at number 4 in the country heading in to 2022. Don't really have much of an issue with Notre Dame at number 5. I would actually say it's probably the best spot for the Fighting Irish heading into this season, which means, guys, that week 1 we will have the number 2 team in the country, Ohio State, hosting the number 5 team in the country in Notre Dame. So huge week 1 matchup just a couple weeks away. Texas A&M in at number 6, overrated per usual. I think A&M is one of the few teams in the country that can consistently go 8-4 and then find a way to find themselves in the top 10. The Aggies 8-4 last year, gaining a lot of hype, just like they did last year, just like they did the year before, find themselves in the top 10, and they very well could be out of the top 10 by the first or second week of October, if not before. No hate on the Aggies whatsoever, but they don't have a good track record here. They don't have a track record of rising up to the expectations and living up to the expectations, and they're 6 right now, but they're going to drop a game to Alabama or Arkansas or Mississippi State or somebody, and they will not be a playoff contender by mid-October. We tell you that in our Texas A&M predictions. So the Aggies in at 6, strongly disagree with them being that high. Utah, I believe, is too low. I believe the Utes should have been a little bit higher. We actually had them ranked at 4th. Tons of talent coming back for Kyle Whittingham of the Utes, but still worthy of a top 10 team. Michigan at 8 is fine. Baylor at 10 is fine. Oklahoma in at 9. I think the Sooners, you could have made a case for them to be a little bit lower. I think you could have made a case for the Sooners to be, maybe top 15, not necessarily top 10. Sooners have a lot of high expectations coming in with Brent Venables, but new coach, new quarterback, some questions on defense, a lot coming in for the Sooners now. I would, honestly could make a case for Oregon, more so for me, NC State, to replace Oklahoma at the number 9 spot. I like the Wolfpack a lot this year, and I believe that NC State in at 13 should probably be more of a top 10 team. They're replacing Oklahoma. You maybe just even swap spots. NC State at 9, Oklahoma at 13, somewhere around there. But regardless, the Sooners in there, and Baylor, the reigning Big 12 champions, coming in at number 10. Top 10 as a whole, guys, not the worst thing in the world. These could make a case are the top 10 teams in the country with a few exceptions. Again, the top 3 look good. Notre Dame at 5 looks good. Michigan at 8 looks good. I just have a couple issues with maybe Texas A&M and Oklahoma right now. Coming into the second half here, 11 through 20. Oregon at 11. We're going to have the number 3 team in the country in Georgia facing off against the 11th ranked team in the country in Oregon and Atlanta in week 1. So 2 huge top 12 matchups in week 1. So keep an eye out for that. But the Ducks coming in at number 11 in year 1 under Dan Lanning. Don't have too much of an issue with that, just like I don't have much of an issue with Oklahoma State in at number 12. The Cowboys, again, won the Fiesta Bowl last year, but lose a lot from last year. 12 actually might be generous, some would say. Do return a lot on offense, including their quarterback Spencer Sanders, but they lose Jim Knowles as defensive coordinator. They lose a lot on the defensive side of the ball. 12th is a good spot for them to maybe try to make a return trip to that Big 12 championship and maybe the playoff. And when you look at the Big 12 as a whole, guys, Oklahoma, Baylor, Oklahoma State, 3 teams in the top 12, It'll be a very competitive conference. We already knew that, but even more so in 2022. We just talked on NC State. Believe they should be a little bit higher than 13th. And then you got USC in there at 14th. And again, USC is in a similar spot as Texas A&M. You got a team that's going, 4-8 last year, dealing with a brand new coach, a major influx of transfers. And yes, we know Caleb Williams is great. Jordan Addison's great. Travis Dye, is great. But we're going to take a team that was 4-8 last year, absolutely abysmal, has all of these huge new pieces, and we're going to put them at 14th above guys like Michigan State, Pittsburgh, who made a New Year's Six bowl game last year, Arkansas, who returns tons and had a 9-win season last year. We're going to put USC all the way up into a top 15. Strongly disagree with that. And I don't really understand the logic behind that. We're basing all this success from USC, we're basing off of things we haven't even seen yet. You're basing that off of hope and previous results from these players and coaches that weren't even at USC last year. Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma. Caleb Williams was at Oklahoma. Travis Dye was at Oregon. Jordan Addison was at Pitt. These guys have never played together. They have not played for this coach, with the exception of Caleb Williams. Obviously got an influx of transfers on the defensive side of the ball as well. So you're taking a team that went 4-8, but is gaining a lot of offseason hype, rightfully so, but we're going to put them in the top 15 when we haven't even seen them play. And they went 4-8 last year. It doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. We do this story every single year with the blue blood programs. Whether it's USC, or I wouldn't call it A&M a blue blood, but they're up there. USC or Texas or LSU, your big name programs get the benefit of the doubt from the Associated Press because they don't know what they're talking about. Now, I'm not here to tell you USC is going to do bad. We have them winning 10 games this year. I do believe they're going to be very, very solid. But to start the year, do I believe they are the 14th best team in the country? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, especially not above some of these other teams like Michigan State, who won the Peach Bowl last year. Yes, they do lose a lot, but still are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big Ten. They deserve that top 15 ranking, probably could be a little bit higher. Miami, another team similar to USC, where how are we putting them as high as 16th above the likes of Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, Arkansas, and really everybody else there? Not saying the Hurricanes shouldn't be ranked, but this is a team that barely made a bowl game last year, brings in one great head coach in Mario Cristobal, and has a great quarterback in Tyler Van Dyke, and now we think they're God and should be in the top 20. It doesn't make sense. The Hurricanes will be good. We believe they'll win the Coastal. But right now, heading into the season, do I think they are the 16th best team in the country? No, they have to earn that spot. Right now, they have not. Because every year, teams like A&M and USC and Miami and guys like that, they get these benefit of the doubts from the Associated Press. Typically, they fall short. Hope they do not, but typically they do. And it shows that their rankings were flawed and they were never worthy of those rankings to begin with. Again, we hope we're wrong. We're not hating on any of these teams. We're actually more so hating on the Associated Press for ranking them here. So Miami in at 16th. Pittsburgh in at 17th. Not a horrible spot. I really don't have much of an issue with 17 through 20. If anything, I believe that Arkansas probably could have made a case to be a little higher. I believe the Razorbacks right now are more of a top 15 team. Not necessarily top 20. Should be maybe up there where Miami is, around number 16. Maybe where Michigan State is or USC is. 15, between 14th and 16th for the Razorbacks. But instead, they kind of got the shaft and got 19th. Ole Miss in Kentucky, 20 and 21. Not horrible spots there. Other than Rebels in the bottom half of the top 25 is respectable considering how much they lost. Wake Forest in at 22. You can't help but wonder if the Demon Deacons would have been higher in their rankings had Sam Hartman been healthy. Obviously, we're dealing with all that news from Sam Hartman, the undisclosed medical issue that he's dealing with. Dave Clawson said he should return during the season. We just don't know when. And you can't help but wonder if that news hadn't broken or if Sam Hartman was fully healthy, would Wake Forest be ranked higher in the initial rankings? That is something to kind of ponder. But Wake Forest should still be in good hands. It's just going to be a matter of how well do they play without Sam Hartman. Will they still be in ACC title contention when he gets back? Rounding it out, guys, you've got two group of 5 teams, Cincinnati and Houston out of the American. The Bearcats in at 23 go from a playoff team to 23rd because you do lose a lot of talent. Jerome Ford and Desmond Ridder and Alec Price and your top 2 cornerbacks. They lose a lot. We're going to see a Week 1 matchup between number 19 Arkansas and number 23 Cincinnati in Week 1. So that's going to be a fun one there. Houston won 12 games last year. Definitely deserved to be in the top 25. Actually had them higher in our preseason top 25 we posted months ago. I think 24th, a little bit low for them. But again, to each their own. Associated Press, what would you expect? And then BYU in at 25. You could have made a case for BYU to be higher too, because they return a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. You also could have made a case for Houston or BYU or something like that to be replaced by a team like Tennessee, who just missed out, was the team that received the most votes outside the top 25. So Tennessee is technically 26. You could have had Tennessee in there with all the offseason hype they're generating, like USC and Miami, guys like that. Why weren't they in there at 25 or 24? Low end, top 25, but still ranked. So yeah, guys, we do this every single week, right? And we're going to continue to do this every single week. We're going to put out our rankings, and we're going to break down the AP rankings. The AP rankings that typically fail us. But that's kind of the beauty of the preseason polls, right? It's fun to look at this. These are the rankings we get going into the season. Week 0 starts a week from this upcoming Saturday. When you look at these rankings by the end of the season, we're going to laugh at them, right? Because they're going to be drastically different. And these will be drastically shaped after week 1, where some of these teams that are ranked are going to fall to teams that maybe they shouldn't. We're going to get a true taste of these teams heading into these upcoming weeks. We're going to see who's really worthy of these rankings and who's not. But right now, guys, this is what we're dealing with, and I believe the Associated Press made quite a bit of mistakes. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. Let us know who's ranked too high, who's ranked too low, who shouldn't be ranked that is. We want to hear from you down in the comments about this preseason poll as we head into this college football season. So make sure to do that. Make sure to check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on thegridironexpert.com. Make sure to sign up for those today. Make sure to go join our Discord server so you can talk college football with us 24/7, 365. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.